Warning: the video you are about to watch shows no respect for the English language, especially the pronunciation. So for your own good, I highly suggest you to enable the subtitles right there. Here we go. Hello! Today I talk about the major changes in Lich King, the differences and the novelties. I will start with spells and then talents. Make me know in the comments and by dropping a thumbs up if you want me to do this for every class. Let's go! Arcane spells. Mage armor. The mana regeneration is at 50% instead of 30%, and above all, a huge boost in PvP. If you receive a ship or a fear that lasts for 10 seconds, it'll last 5 instead. Mana shield drains 1.5 instead of 2. You don't need a light feather anymore with the minor glyph. Arcane blast. Instead of reducing the casting time, it increases the damage of all arcane spells. Stacks up to 4 times instead of 3, until you use another arcane spell. That's why the PV arcane rotation will be spam 3 or 4 blasts, followed by an arcane missiles. Evocation, as you can see, it is the same effect. The CD goes from 8 minutes to 4. But in PvP you also have a glyph that allows you to recover 60% of your life points. Mirror image. Summons 3 clones for 30 seconds. Not only they deal pretty good damage, but in addition they slow down the target constantly. Excellent in PvP and good in PvE. Invisibility. You take 3 seconds to vanish instead of 5, and unlike TBC, even if you suffer any action during the transition, it does not remove the buff. Conjure refreshment. Instead of conjuring 10 food and 10 water separately, now you do a stack of 20 which regenerates mana and HP. Ship. Same thing except that there is a glyph which allows to remove all dots on the target. Fire spells. More 10 armor. Instead of increasing crit by 3%, this increases crit by 35% of your spirits. Frost Firebolt, a pretty cool new spell. It's a bit like a fireball that dots and slows down the target for 9 seconds. Frost spells. Blizzard didn't change, but since the mana cost remains the same regardless of the rank, you can no longer spam Blizzard rank 1 in PvP. Talents. Arcane. Arcane Sword Archery, a plus that reduces the chance of being dispelled by 30%. And it's a must-have in PvP. Arcane Stability affects Arcane Blast in addition to Arcane Missiles. Magic Attunement increases the range of your arcane spells by 6 yards. Very good in PvP to ship or counterspell. New talent, 10% more spirit. Focus Magic. It gives a single ally at a time 3% chance to critically hit with spells, and when it crits, you also gain 3% chance to critically hit with spells. Arcane Shielding decreases the mana lost per point of damage when Mana Shield is active by 35%. So if you receive 3000 damage, you will lose 3000 mana, while in TBC it would have been 6000. Arcane Meditation, 50% mana recovery while casting instead of 30. Torment the Weak. New talent that increases the damage of Frost Bolts, Fireball, Frost Fire Bolt, Pyroblast, Arcane Missiles, Arcane Blast, and Arcane Barrage by 12% on trapped or slowed targets. Prismatic Cloak. Now it also reduces the fade time of invisibility by 3 seconds. So if you put 3 points in these talents, you will vanish instantly. And for Arcane PvP spec, it is very cool. Arcane Potency. 30% chance of crit under clear casting, and presence of mind. Arcane Empowerment adds a buff that increases the damage of all raid members by 3%. Arcane Power 2 minutes cooldown instead of 3, 20% instead of 30. When your Mana Shield, Frost or Fire Ward and Ice Barrier absorbs damage, your spell damage is increased by 15% of the amount absorbed for 10 seconds. Really good in PvP. Arcane Flow reduces spirit presence, arcane power, and invisibility cooldown by a third, plus evocation by 1 minute. Slow costs much less mana, plus reduces attack movement speed by 60% instead of 50, and casting speed by 30% instead of 50. Arcane Barrage, last talent of the Arcane tree. An instant spell with only 3 seconds cooldown that deals a lot of damage. Muscle Barrage, big talent that all by itself makes the arcane spec insane. Gives Arcane Blast 40% and Arcane Barrage 20% chance to reduce the casting time of the next arcane missile by 2.5, in addition of making it free mana cost. Basically you're a small turret, pew 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 pew, and it's really good in PvE and in PvP. Fire talents. Fire Mage is my favorite PvP specialization of the whole expansion, and it is thanks to all of these modifications that I'm going to talk about. Burning Determination, insane in PvP. When interrupted or silenced, become immune to the next interrupt or silence mechanic, lasts 20 seconds. Impact. Instead of giving your fire spells 10% chance to stun the target for 2 seconds, it's 10% chance with all damage spells to cause the next fire blast to stun for 2 seconds. Molten Shield, excellent in PvP. Causes your fire and frost wards to have a 30% chance to reflect the warded spell. Plus, you even have a minor glyph for each ward, which increases by 5%, so a 35% chance to reflect fire or frost spells. It is really powerful in PvP, of course. Improved Burn. You just have to use Scorch once to apply the debuff, which now increases the chance of crits with spells by 5%, instead of fire damage by 15%. Blast Wave. Pyromaniac, very good in PvE and fire PvP spirit spec. 3% crit and 50% mana regeneration while casting. Combustion. Same concept except that now it also increases the damage of these 3 critical hits by 50%. When below 35% health, all damage taken is reduced by 10%. So it's pretty cute, but the Pyroblast casting time is reduced by 3.5 seconds. So basically, below 35% HP, you can swing Pyroblasts in 1.5 seconds. And it's not even over yet. Opponents have a 10% chance of getting disarmed when they attack you. Yes, I nailed the pronunciation. Which will make rogues cry like little bitches. Empowered Fire. Increases Fireball, Frostbolt, Frost Firebolt, and Pyroblast damage, and each time you ignite talent causes damage, you regain 2% of your mana. Hot Streak. When you land 2 non-periodic critical hits with your non-AoE fire spells, you got an instant Pyroblast. Dragon's Breath. In TBC it was disorienting for 3 seconds. Now it's 5 seconds, which leaves you more time to cast a powerful spell, to ship, to run away. This is much better. Firestarter. When you used Blast Wave or Dragon's Breath, you got a free and instant Flame Strike. At the beginning of the expansion, it's pretty cool in PvP. I only put 1 point though, so 50% chance. And then from the phase 3, it's not worthy anymore in my opinion. Increases spell critical damage by 50%. Insane. In PvE, PvP. In return, your spell criticals costs 5% more. Living Bomb. A really cool new spell with a very long range. You put a dot that lasts 12 seconds, and at the end of the duration, or if it gets dispelled, explodes, and inflicts good damage on all nearby enemies. Frost Talents. Permafrost also reduces the target's healing received by 20%. Frost Warding gives your Frost Ward and Fire Ward a 30% chance to negate the warded spell and restore mana equal to the damage caused. Shattered Barrier. When your ice barrier is destroyed, freeze all nearby enemies for 8 seconds. Really good in PvP. Empowered Frostbolt. Increases the damage of the Frost Bolt, plus reduces its casting time by 0.2 seconds. Fingers of Frost. Gives your chill effects a 15% chance to treat your next 2 spells cast as if the target were frozen. Brain Freeze. Frost damage spells with chilling effects have a 15% chance to cause the next fire or frost fire bolt to be instant cast and cost no mana. Enduring Winter, that increases the duration of your pet by 5 seconds. Gives your frost bolt a 33% chance to grant up to your party members mana regeneration equal to 1% of their mana every 5 seconds. Placing 1 talent point there is enough. Chilled to the Bone increases the damage caused by Frostbolt, Frostfire Bolt, and Ice Lance by 5%, and reduces the movement speed of all chilled targets by 10%. And Deep Freeze, only usable on frozen targets. I am too tired to detail the spell, but I'm gonna make a PvP guide soon. So yeah. Alright, this is the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and follow me on my Twitch channel. If you want me to do this for every class, let me know in the comments. Take care of yourself and see you soon.